The wrestling world just exploded with a revelation that nobody saw coming, and it has left the entire WWE universe in absolute shock. Nick Aldis has just dropped the bombshell of the century by exposing Bianca Belair as the person who has been secretly attacking Jade Cargill all this time. If you thought you knew what was happening in WWE, then think again, because this twist has changed everything we believed about one of the most mysterious storylines in recent memory. Before we dive into this explosive revelation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you definitely don't want to miss what happens next in this insane saga. For weeks now, the entire WWE roster and fanbase have been trying to solve the mystery of who was behind the brutal attacks on Jade Cargill. The attacks started happening out of nowhere, with Jade being ambushed backstage on multiple occasions. Each time she was left beaten and bruised with no clear indication of who was responsible for these vicious assaults. The attacks were calculated and precise, showing that whoever was behind them had a personal vendetta against the rising superstar. WWE officials launched an investigation, but every lead seemed to hit a dead end. Cameras would conveniently malfunction, or the attacker would strike in blind spots where security footage was limited. It was almost as if the perpetrator knew exactly how to avoid detection. The speculation ran wild across social media and wrestling forums. Fans were throwing out names left and right, trying to piece together who could possibly want to take out Jade Cargill. Some thought it might be a jealous competitor from another brand. Others believed it could be someone from Jade's past coming back for revenge. The theories were endless, and everyone had their own idea about who the mystery attacker could be. What made this situation even more intriguing was that Jade herself seemed genuinely confused about who would want to hurt her. She gave interviews expressing her frustration and confusion about the whole situation. She talked about how she had been watching her back constantly and how the attacks had affected her ability to focus on her matches and championship pursuits. Throughout all of this chaos, one person seemed to be standing firmly in Jade's corner, and that was Bianca Belair. The EST of WWE appeared to be the perfect friend and ally during these troubling times. Bianca was constantly checking on Jade and offering her support both publicly and privately. She would tweet words of encouragement and even volunteered to help find the person responsible for the attacks. In backstage segments, Bianca was shown being protective of Jade and promising that they would get to the bottom of this mystery together. The two had formed what appeared to be a genuine friendship and tag team partnership. They had each other's backs in matches and seemed to be building something special as a duo. Fans loved seeing two powerful women supporting each other in an industry that often pits female competitors against one another. Nick Aldis had been conducting his own investigation into the attacks as the SmackDown general manager. He took the matter seriously because these weren't just random backstage scuffles. These were premeditated assaults that were happening under his watch and on his brand. Aldis interviewed multiple superstars and reviewed countless hours of footage. He brought in security experts and even consulted with other WWE officials to get their input on the situation. The investigation seemed to be going nowhere for the longest time, with every clue leading to another dead end. But Aldis is not someone who gives up easily, and he kept digging deeper into every possible angle. Then something changed. Aldis started noticing patterns that others had missed. He began piecing together small details that individually meant nothing but collectively painted a disturbing picture. He noticed that Bianca Belair always seemed to show up just moments after the attacks occurred. She was always the first person on the scene to comfort Jade and offer assistance. At first this seemed like the actions of a caring friend, but Aldis started to wonder if it was something more calculated. He also noticed that Bianca always had convenient alibis for when the attacks happened, but these alibis were never actually verified by anyone else. She would claim she was in the gym or in a production meeting, but there was never any concrete proof of her whereabouts during those crucial moments. Aldis then did something clever. He set up hidden cameras in areas where previous attacks had occurred and in locations where he suspected future attacks might happen. He didn't tell anyone about these cameras, not even his own security team, because he wanted to make sure the attacker had no way of knowing they were being watched. This was a risky move because if word got out, it could have compromised the entire investigation. But Aldis was confident in his strategy, and he waited patiently for the attacker to strike again. The wait wasn't long, because Jade was attacked again just a few days later in a storage area backstage. This time, however, Aldis had everything on camera from multiple angles. What those cameras revealed was absolutely stunning. The footage showed Bianca Belair carefully checking to make sure no one was around before putting on a black hoodie and mask. She then waited in the shadows for Jade to walk by on her way back from a promo shoot. When Jade passed by, Bianca jumped out and attacked her with a steel chair, hitting her repeatedly in the back and legs. The assault was brutal and methodical, showing no mercy whatsoever. After the attack, Bianca quickly removed the hoodie and mask, stuffing them into a nearby equipment case. She then waited a few minutes before casually walking around the corner and pretending to discover Jade lying on the floor injured. She immediately called for help and put on an Oscar-worthy performance of shock and concern. Aldis couldn't believe what he was seeing on the footage. The EST of WWE, the woman who had been portrayed as Jade's best friend and protector, was actually the one who had been terrorizing her all along. It was a betrayal of the highest order, and it explained so much about why the investigation had been so difficult. Bianca had insider knowledge about security protocols and camera placements. She knew exactly where to strike and how to avoid detection because she was part of the inner circle. She had been playing everyone for fools while systematically trying to take out her supposed friend. But why would Bianca do this? What could possibly motivate someone to betray a friend in such a cruel and calculated manner? The answer to that question is both simple and complex. Bianca Belair has been at the top of the women's division for years now. She has held multiple championships and has been the face of the women's roster on SmackDown. But then Jade Cargill arrived in WWE with massive fanfare and immediately started getting pushed as the next big thing. The comparisons between the two athletes were inevitable, and everywhere Bianca looked she saw Jade being called the future of the division. Merchandise sales started shifting toward Jade. Social media engagement for Jade's content started rivaling and even surpassing Bianca's numbers. Main event opportunities that would have normally gone to Bianca were suddenly being offered to Jade instead. This created a resentment in Bianca that grew with each passing week. She started to feel like everything she had built over the years was being threatened by this newcomer who hadn't paid the same dues or put in the same amount of work. In Bianca's mind, Jade was getting opportunities handed to her based on hype and potential rather than proven track record and accomplishments. The jealousy festered and eventually turned into something darker. Bianca decided that if she couldn't compete with Jade in the court of public opinion, then she would take Jade out of the equation entirely. By attacking Jade repeatedly, she could injure her enough to keep her off television and out of title contention. At the same time, Bianca could play the supportive friend and actually gain sympathy and positive press for being there for Jade during her difficult time. It was a diabolical plan that almost worked perfectly. Bianca had successfully executed multiple attacks without getting caught, and she had positioned herself as the hero of the story. She was getting praised by fans and media for being such a loyal friend to Jade. Her stock was actually rising while Jade was being sidelined with injuries. The plan would have continued working if not for the persistence and investigative skills of Nick Aldis. His refusal to accept easy answers and his willingness to question everything eventually led him to the truth. Once he had the video evidence, there was no denying what had happened and what Bianca had done. Aldis called an emergency meeting with WWE officials to show them the footage. The reaction was one of complete disbelief followed by anger. This wasn't just a rivalry that had gotten out of hand or a personal dispute between two competitors. This was a calculated campaign of violence and deception that had put another superstar's career and health at risk. WWE management knew they had to act quickly and decisively. They authorized Aldis to confront Bianca publicly and expose her for what she had done. The decision was made to reveal everything on SmackDown in front of the live audience and the millions watching at home. The segment where Aldis exposed Bianca will go down as one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. Aldis came out to the ring with a serious expression and called for Bianca Belair to join him. Bianca came out with her usual confident swagger, having no idea what was about to happen. She smiled and waved to the crowd as she made her way to the ring, clearly expecting some kind of positive announcement or opportunity. When she got in the ring, Aldis didn't waste any time with pleasantries. He immediately told her that he had solved the mystery of who had been attacking Jade Cargill. Bianca acted interested and asked who it was playing along with what she thought was an investigation update. That's when Aldis dropped the bomb. He looked Bianca directly in the eyes and said that the attacker was her. The color drained from Bianca's face as she stammered and tried to deny it. She claimed it was ridiculous and demanded to know what evidence he possibly could have. Aldis then ordered the production truck to play the footage on the big screen. The entire arena watched in stunned silence as the video showed Bianca putting on the disguise, attacking Jade, and then pretending to discover her. The crowd erupted with boos and shocked gasps. Bianca stood in the middle of the ring looking like she had been caught in a trap with no way out. She tried one more time to deny it, claiming the footage must have been doctored or manipulated, but nobody was buying it. The evidence was clear and undeniable. Bianca Belair had been exposed as a fraud and a villain in front of the entire world. Her carefully crafted image as the EST and a role model had been shattered in an instant. Aldis told her that there would be serious consequences for her actions and that WWE management would be determining her punishment. Before he could say anything else, Jade Cargill's music hit and she stormed down to the ring. The moment everyone had been waiting for was finally here. Jade got in Bianca's face and demanded to know why she had done this. Bianca finally dropped the act and showed her true colors. She unleashed a verbal tirade about how Jade had stolen her spotlight and didn't deserve the opportunity she was getting. She said that she was the real star and that Jade was nothing but hype without substance. The confrontation got physical as Jade shoved Bianca and the two started brawling right there in the ring. Security rushed out to separate them, but not before both women got some significant shots in. The crowd was going absolutely crazy as the truth had finally come to light and the real rivalry was now out in the open. This was no longer a mystery storyline but a full-blown blood feud between two of the most dominant women in WWE history. Aldis restored order and announced that at the next premium live event Jade Cargill would get her revenge in a match against Bianca Belair. The stipulation would be determined later, but it would be something that would allow Jade to get the justice she deserved. The aftermath of this revelation has been massive. Social media exploded with reactions from fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Many people praised Nick Aldis for his detective work and for having the courage to expose one of WWE's top stars. Others expressed disappointment in Bianca for letting jealousy turn her into something she swore she would never become. The wrestling world is now buzzing with anticipation for the inevitable showdown between these two powerhouses. This match will be personal and it will be brutal because there is real emotion behind it now. Jade wants revenge for being betrayed by someone she trusted, and Bianca wants to prove that she is still the top woman in WWE despite being exposed as the villain. This storyline has elevated both women to new heights and has given WWE one of the most compelling feuds in recent memory. The layers of betrayal, friendship, jealousy, and redemption make this more than just another wrestling angle. It feels real because the emotions behind it are genuine, even if the specific circumstances were scripted. Fans are invested in seeing Jade get her revenge and in seeing whether Bianca can somehow redeem herself or if she will fully embrace being the villain. Either direction WWE decides to go will be fascinating to watch unfold. The creative team has done an excellent job of building this mystery, and the payoff with Nick Aldis exposing Bianca was executed perfectly. If you enjoyed this breakdown of one of the most shocking revelations in WWE history, then make sure you subscribe to our channel for more wrestling content, analysis, and updates. We bring you all the latest news and behind-the-scenes information about your favorite superstars and storylines, so don't miss out on any of the action.